Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
This Wednesday, this is Monday, this is being recorded. In 2 days, now some people, they listen to shows later. They're screwed. You're on top of things. You're blessed. New Silent Trailers game show. How excited.
We'll be live. This is so excited. It's my favorite time of the month. So I'm going to be looking at movie trailers on silent, describing it to people, and it's going to be a bunch of comedians against Keith. And I think you're always nervous. I think you always need to be nervous.
Yeah.
Check out the lineup, keithandthegirl.com/tickets. They might beat your ass. He's going to need your support. If you're a Keith and the Girl VIP member, you get to come for free. How often do you get to come for free?
Hello.
VIP, you're coming for free.
It almost feels like you pay one way or another, doesn't it? I'm very excited. Chemda is in Spain still, of course. She'll be there for a couple weeks. I like this idea because it's going to be something in the morning when she's doing this at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And if you thought she was, kind of loopy when it comes to describing movie trailers as it is, I think this is going to be a hoot and a half.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, here's what you do.
I'm at my best when I first wake up.
KeithandTheGirl.com/tickets. You'll see everything right there. And again, if you're a VIP member, get your tickets for free. KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. I'm reading a little article right here before we introduce our guest. An Australian man set a new record for the world's loudest burp when he let out a 112.4 decibel belch, louder than motorcycles.
Wait, and the world records people were there to take inventory?
Sounds like you heard it down the block. So they were like, let's triangulate, and somebody won something. Neville Sharp, 51, said he spent 5 years preparing, often by guzzling Coke, to top the former 109.9 decibel record that was already set by Guinness.
This guy must have the worst indigestion. Like, that is just because my burps have gotten loud. That doesn't mean my stomach is okay. Everything's bad.
He shat his pants. He shat his pants once. He's like, okay, I don't eat that food. My girlfriend loves.
You only prep for loud burps in the worst ways. You are abusing your body.
My girlfriend loves to drink seltzer and burp at me. And I find her very unsexy when she does that. Then she grabs my penis and she's sexy again. So really, it's not hard to lose with me.
I crack my back a little when I twist, and sometimes you can hear it. And it happened right before the show. And Xerxes goes, I swear to God, I would rather you fart on me than me hear that. It's so, right. And he's like, obviously, do whatever you need to do. But it is so unnerving that he just gets like, how is that okay that my body makes that sound? And I just keep moving.
Because subconsciously, he's thinking decades from now, he's going to be wheeling around an amoeba. He wants to make sure you're taking care of your bones and shit. All right. Today's guest, he has a new podcast. It's called Plugs. And why not? That's the best part of any podcast, right? So check out the podcast Plugs. It's our buddy, Carl Benjamin. How you doing, Carl?
Not too bad, man. How's everything going in your guys' places?
It's the great Trey Galyon. And I don't know if I knew this before or recently found it out. Your full name is Carl Benjamin Galyon III.
Yeah. Have we never discussed that before?
I don't know that we have, because I don't remember asking you, the fuck does Trey come from?
Yeah, I don't remember you ever asking it at least that way ever before.
There's no T in all your names. And you went with Trey.
Well, I mean, I didn't. My parents did.
Well, that's ridiculous, because they're the ones who named you Carl Benjamin Galyon III and then went by, you know what? It is a little silly. All the kids are coming when we call them. You'll be Trey, you'll be Chair, you'll be TV. Where did Trey come from?
What does Trey mean in white? Maybe it means something.
No, this is, I think this is more from Mom, from the Puerto Rican side. ¿Tú hablas español?
Un poquito.
Yeah, all right. 3, Trey. 3.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Trey.
So another of your kids is Dos? I'm not joking. You have a sibling named Dos?
Well, no, in that regard, then it would make sense to call my dad Dos because he's Junior, but they just called him Carl Jr.,
But isn't three
Change that name, by the way. Sorry, don't go by Carl Jr.
Well, that was, he was born in 1943, so that was a little before the fast food chain came along.
But
and he never even got free food there. What's that?
Isn't tres three? Why is it Trey?
Yeah. Just because they Americanized it or whatever. Like I knew there was one kid in our neighborhood that was named Trace. But he wasn't Hispanic at all. He was super white, but he was the third.
Now you're not confusing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some things I'm never going to know. God and Trey's name. So your dad is a junior.
Was a
junior.
Now.
He passed away 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
Right. Sorry again to hear that. And then
clearly sorry. And
more sorry than most people, but we did.
Yeah, kind of life happens. I appreciate it, Keith.
Well, it doesn't happen is the thing. But anyway, he's in heaven and he can watch over you even better.
Right.
He's a better dad now, probably.
I feel his loving hand upon me all the time. That sounded
sweet.
Really horrible.
Now, so one of his kids, he doesn't stick with, does he name them the second or the third or that kind of thing? It confuses me because I found out that my dad is a junior and then he named his first son Mike Malley the second, which I find funny because that means he's like, you know what? I'm starting over with me. I'm not the junior anymore. I'm the first. That's interesting.
That is very interesting. So your brother is Roman numeral 2.
Yes.
And your dad is junior.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a little that's on your dad. I'm not going to say egotistical or something, but
I am
something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you do know what I'm saying.
It's such a good name, but I'm the one who began it.
No, you go 3. That's how it goes.
That's what I'm checking on. I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny is this whole thing starts with ego. Your name is so great and you're so great that you have to have a junior. His dad always manages to take it to the next level. Not only am I going to already give my name, I'm going to start over. You made the most egotistical name even more egotistical somehow.
Yeah. So now there's a junior and because there's not many Roman numeral 2s. That's normally reserved for the douchiest of the douchers. You know?
They know, but you don't know. Right. You mean the guys who put that on you.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Well, let me mention this real quick because some people are like, Keith, are we going to forget? It's President's Day. Happy President's Day, everybody.
Happy President to everybody.
It means slowly we're moving past this. It used to remember when we had Washington's birthday and we had Lincoln's birthday. Now they're like, okay, it's everybody. You get one day off. Enough is enough.
One more day for a sale. Not big on the greeting cards for President's Day, though.
Right.
It's not a big greeting card holiday.
No, this just feels like, postmen got together and government and banks, and they were like, I think we need another Monday off. They're like, yeah, but we're already celebrating everybody. What about President's Day?
I saw a tweet from Mike Kaplan said, Happy President's Day, but I think I'm getting too old to believe in it.
He's clever.
He's clever. Which by the way, speaking of President's Day, Trey Galyon, I got to acknowledge this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you see a flag behind him. Is that a white power flag? And you don't know? Did you get it from a garage sale or something? What is that behind you?
Did you get it from a garage sale?
And maybe you didn't know. Man. And you're like, I like stars. I like red.
Right. But what about it to you says white power is just what I'm wondering, because it's not even close.
Okay. First of all, but it's close. Well, am I the only one who ever guessed that?
You're not the only one that's brought it up.
Okay. So it's close. What is it about it? I think it's the striking red. If there's an eagle on it, that doesn't make it better, than make it worse. Do you see what I'm saying?
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. It screams white power to me. Kinda. What do you think?
That's my first thought was that. I mean, obviously Trey is not going to be that, but I thought I don't think he's the kind of person that would hang a flag without research, but also, the mistakes happen and that looks like a mistake. So I'm giving you the benefit that I think it's a mistake. But yes, the red color, the red, white, and blue of it, the stars that represent, a better time, quote unquote. Just 3 stars.
Freedom first. That flag says freedom first.
It's like, you guys are putting all of this into your own heads. Like, that's the thing that bothers me when it has been brought up is like you said, first off, It's me that have. Why would I have something racist hanging in my window?
Well, let me be
You come
clear.
off
Even
dumb
for
sometimes.
funnies.
Yeah, you do.
Huh?
Yeah, it's your character to come off dumb. So who knows, right?
Oh yeah,
So-
fair enough.
So of course I would have to assume it's not. In fact, if I thought it was a big Nazi symbol, I wouldn't tell a fun story about the burping record, So I know deep down it's not. But tell everybody what it is. What am I talking about?
It's the Tennessee state flag,
Oh, what a coincidence!
and the 3 stars are for the 3 parts of Tennessee
Jesus, Holy Ghost, and God.
and the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I consider myself a New Yorker, and I'm not flying the New York flag, but I would be actually more nervous to fly a Tennessee flag.
Well, that's on you, and that's fine. That's where my family's from. So
But when you say it's on her, it is on her, and it's on me, and it's on every friend that's ever seen your place. So let's keep that in mind. Also, I Googled the Tennessee flag just now. Guess what comes up right next to it? The Confederate flag. Now, again, I'm only reading the headline, but that's fucking interesting.
Also,
Well, Barry, and a lot of people
your family is from somewhere, but a lot of families are from, not great places.
what I need to do is put the Puerto Rican flag up next to it, and then
Yes.
I guess. No, I'm
Another
sorry.
red,
Hem
white,
to
and blue
finish what
flag.
you were saying. Families are from a lot of places.
I don't see I find it very interesting when people are so connected to their roots that it doesn't matter that it looks like that kind of flag. I'm not hanging an Iranian flag, and
I wouldn't suggest that at all.
why not? I'm from Iran. My family's from Iran.
No, I know. It's just they haven't always had the best relationship with the United States of America.
Okay.
How's the South doing?
Well, hey, look, that's the other thing is like my family's from East Tennessee, which is that star. So they were actually in the Union. There's a Union fort there in Knoxville on the east side of the Tennessee River. So look, they were poor. They didn't own slaves, and they didn't want other people
Trey.
owned.
Oh boy. Oh Lord.
They were poor.
See,
It's not even a question. They were poor.
oh, Lord.
Did
God.
during what people consider the height of COVID, did you do any video dates, and did you have the flag up?
No, I didn't do any video dates.
Okay.
I did all of that in person, and yeah, I mean the flag's been up for a while, man. It's been in it's been on some other mentioned on some other podcasts as well. Yeah, so I really do need to getting that Puerto Rican flag put next to it, I guess.
Sometimes Kyle tries to rearrange my house. If a woman asked, "Hey, people are getting confused, and I need to use the camera sometimes for work. Do you mind taking the flag down?" Would that be get the fuck out of my house, or would you be like, okay?
No, in my older age, I'd be like, yeah, look, that's fine.
Okay.
I guess I get it. That's the other thing too, is like I've grown up with this, so it doesn't evoke anything.
You look like you're leading a virtual, very casual KKK meeting that I shouldn't have been invited to.
You guys are putting that into your own head, though.
You're
I don't
wearing
understand
a hoodie.
why that looks. Yeah, but it's a navy hoodie, and it has the little Daniel Johnston "Hi, how are you" on it. Frog. It does space frog.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. I don't like
certainly
it.
not racist.
How are you? Yeah,
That's a friendly gesture. That's a hey, fellow depression person, how are you? Am I right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Ask your friends, "Hi, how are you?" and not in a racist way. That's across the board, no matter what color they are. Look, there was only one member of our family that was upset when my dad married a Puerto Rican lady, and she's been dead for a while. So that didn't help anything, did it?
Is that his mom?
Nothing.
No, my great grandmother. His great grandmother.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How is dating going? I know you go on Tinder, then you seem like you have. Tell me if I'm getting this right. There's any kind of prospect, you're off Tinder. You're like, I'm fucking moving on. Then you're like, hey, I'm back. The saddest fucking walk of shame when you have to go back on Tinder. And then somebody goes, hi, and you're like, I'm off Tinder. We're getting married. Am I close?
Yeah, close. Nothing on the nose.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's happening right now?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah. And how long has that been?
A year, coming up on a year. It'll be a year on the 26th of February, according to her.
Wow.
I have to believe her, right?
Yeah, I thought it was in March at some point. I know I'm breaking records every day, breaking records with this girl.
Is this your longest relationship?
Oh yeah, not even close. Like much longer than I think
month?
four or 5 months was the longest before this.
Wow. Why is she lasting longer?
Yeah, because she's cool.
She's not a psycho bitch.
Yeah,
anyway,
we get along.
Hey, it's me again a month later. Hey, I want to bring something up. Well, first of all, is it a red flag? No pun on that bullshit behind you. Is it a red flag? Isn't that funny? It's a negative thing, red flag. So is it a red flag to women that all your dating times were short? Because I know I got hassled like that. Like your longest relationship was 3 months. I'm like, that means I know fast.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it comes up pretty regularly, and it definitely came up with Coco. Like she, because it wasn't. She just couldn't understand it. Like she was like, okay, well, it's got to be one thing in all these girls. Like, is the problem you, or was it them, or And it was like, I mean, no, it was like each situation was different, but it's just like I knew at some point, oh, I'm not going to be with this person for the rest of my life. So what's the point of continuing to stay in this relationship?
What is Coco's race?
Oh, she's white.
Okay. I was going to say maybe put a picture of you two next to the flag, but yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
No, she's very Irish.
Okay. Forget it.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Tinder Swindler on Netflix?
I haven't watched it yet. Coco did, though. She said it was worth watching.
It's a guy that goes on Tinder, says, "Hey, I'm a millionaire." Women are like, "Oh, a millionaire? That seems to be all I need." And then he scams them overseas. "Hey, actually, I have enemies coming after me. I am the Prince of Diamonds, whatever the fuck that means. But right now, I need $50,000. Can you send it to me?" These women take out loans. He made at least $10 million scamming different women. Once in a blue moon, if they push it, he'll use another woman's money to take them on a crazy, jet adventure. And then milk even more money from them.
That's called a Ponzi scheme,
right? Yes.
And no, so he's like the Egyptian
Nigerian
prince or whatever, email that you get, but just in real on Tinder.
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
Exactly. Okay. And at first, I thought they were going to tell me these women are all mentally challenged, and I was going to be mad at him. But I watched not 100%, but I watched it over Kyle's shoulder. I didn't feel bad for these women at all at a certain point, because they took out 7 loans in a week. It's not love. You're really reaching for it. You're really reaching for the billionaire. He is a good looking guy, but it's Tinder. There's only 2 fucking things you learn. It's not OK Cupid where you answer a question or 2. You knew nothing about this guy, and you're really holding on to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the. I agree. You want to feel bad for them, but at the same time, you're like, no, there's people in the world that are that stupid and they need to learn. I mean, look, we voted Donald Trump president. There's dumb people out there, like they exist, and so you get at some point you got to stop feeling sorry for them. Tough love, man. It's tough love. Mm-hmm. That's what I have for these ladies. I feel bad that this happened to them, but also. Fucking like he said, 7 loans. You're taking out 7 loans in a week. Something might be up there, Ask your kid or something.
That's so funny because this is a scam, obviously, and we just shat on these women for like a minute.
Fight the scam.
What's really happening is this guy is a piece of shit. He's just really good at it, and what we are also really good at is teaching our women to be that good to men, to be like, there is a prize after you marry someone, after you meet the right person. So put all your eggs in and take the chance, and love will find its way. And at the end of this, there's going to be a wedding where you get the best dress. And so if we're sending those messages, it's easy for him to take those messages and use them on women. And also he's the scammer. When there's somebody scamming a shit ton of people, like, yes, they're using their desperation. And yes, there's an air of desperation here and fear. So if he's scamming on the desperation and fear of women, maybe we not yell at them.
I disagree.
Oh, was I yelling? I didn't mean to yell. I was trying to talk in a calm,
I
even,
disagree.
tone.
When somebody says, I don't like when people give these people so much credit. But like when you said, for example, well, they're very good at it. I guess that can't be denied because he made $10 million. But to me, that's like saying, well, Trump can't be an idiot. He's president of the United States. This obviously there's intelligence there. Well, I disagree. What can I tell you? He isn't good at this. These women are just so desperate. And at the fifth loan, it's not true, but you'd want to be the full blown idiot. So you go even crazier and make up stories in your head. That doesn't mean this guy is good. That means he went over 60 million women and really milked 4 of them.
It's sort of like gambling when you are, you want to double down because you need to get your money back and get ahead. And then the more you're not ahead, the more you want to, double down again. And like, it's in the next hand, it's in the next hand. So yeah, there's a desperation there. And
in their face, they get smug when they're like, but this happened and I really did this. Gotcha. And it's like, you're broke now. And because of international laws, you can't do anything to this guy. He's still out there doing this shit.
Oh,
what did you get? Spoiler alert. So what did you get?
Wow.
Right.
He's
that's
doing
what
fine.
is like, I want to know how many messages he sent out to women that the women ignored, that never got answered. Like what his shooting percentage was. Does that make sense? How was he from the free throw line?
In general, not just the Tinder Swindler, but the scams in general. $547 million in dating app scammers last year, 78% increase from the year before, 307 million in losses in 2020. Did that make sense?
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's still way, 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 way lower than our defense budget. Almost the budget just for the New York City Police Department.
Right. The number of reported cases climbed from 33,000 to 56,000, or 70% over the same year. A Florida woman was swindled out of $100,000 from that Lothario we're talking about, on the Tinder Swindler. They know what to say to disarm you. They know what to say to make you feel valued. No, you should be embarrassed to do that interview. They didn't know just what. I heard what they said. I did see this show. I know the words they used. They yelled at you because you didn't get the loan in fast enough. They're not clever.
No, right. They knew what to say to you in the same way that, your 5-year-old child knows what to say to a parent to try to not get in trouble,
right.
Or to get what they want, like. That's it. It's not like this guy was reading up on Sigmund Freud and Edward Bernays at any
right.
point.
I wasn't hearing Shakespeare and I bet they would get me with that.
Yeah.
This is their bread and butter. This is a quote. So they're very practiced at it. We get it. It's humiliating. We get it. I mean, they study all day for this. This is evil. Yeah. Okay. We get it. She finally realized the con was on and confronted this guy, Matthew. I think this is different than the Tinder Swindler, by the way, just an example, telling him that his scam had driven her to contemplate suicide. This guy, quote, Matthew said, well, you have to do what you have to do. Oh, he really knew how to work you. What clever words. Well, then kill yourself. Oh, he's good. He's
you
good.
have to do what you have to do. Oh, right. Such smooth touch. What a snake. Silver tongued.
This sounds like a cult. It sounds like, the way humans are built. Unfortunately, you catch them at the right time and the dumb stuff, quote unquote, will just work. It's really difficult. You got to stay conscious, but that's hard.
Like we were saying, if this guy sent out 50,000 messages and only got 5 responses, but there were 5 responses from women who were willing to give him all this money, then horrible shooting percentage, but good enough for the bank account.
The Tinder Swindler is.
How do people get other people to wear the same clothes and drink the food and kill themselves for a leader?
That's an Edward Bernays.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, rabbit hole you could definitely go down. Right. Yeah, it's horrible. And there is a science behind that, But I think this guy in particular is just using the basest level of that. Like I said, He's not familiar with the science. He just knows how to fucking con people.
His real name is Shyman. He changed it to the fake name Simon. This guy knows what he's doing. He's good.
Wow.
He's fucking good.
Covering those tracks, and it's still spelled the same.
Right. Again, you said right. Again, you said you're the Prince of Diamonds. Oh, you're good.
Shyman, the Prince of Diamonds.
You know I love diamonds, and he's the prince of them. Okay. All
That
right.
sounds like a rapper.
Right.
Yeezy and Shyman, the president of diamonds. The king of diamonds.
Yeah, but it's big. It's popular on Netflix. I don't know.
I'm gonna check it out. What's
Feel
that?
bad
Four part series?
No, it's just a documentary, one movie, I think.
Oh, even better.
You're in, you're out, and then your bank account is drained. Netflix is so good.
They did just raise the price, and I was like,
Right.
of course.
What a coincidence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pay ahead by the year? Sure. Oh, they're good. They know how to
Saving
talk
$2 by doing that for paying for the whole year. Hi, Ben.
to me. I have an update on Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew is the prince. First of all, he's the son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, who passed away not too long ago. He's the third child, the second son, which, by the way, what a move. If you're royalty and you have a son, that guy could grow up and be king. When you start having multiple sons, it really is like, hi, you have no chance really to be king. I mean, he's ninth in line. You have no chance, but just hang out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, you're really rolling the dice too, because that's like ninth in line, but still, if there's 8 in front of them, have some type of birth defect or some hydrocephaly or eyes a little too close together or whatever, pulling a real, like, Prince Charles is never going to be king,
I mean,
at least that's what they're
all
hoping.
These wonderful men are just going to have to settle for being princes.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is it still fucks you. It still fucks with those people. That's what I think. And when a 5-year-old is in line to be king before you, it probably fucks with your head. Probably.
Yeah. If I was a royal, for sure.
So he was in big trouble, for raping a 17-year-old on Epstein's Island. Right. Or maybe it was in New York. But anyway, it was related to Epstein. And there's the famous picture now of Ghislaine Maxwell in the background with him around this, his arms around this 17-year-old. Like, boy, that stamp. You got to be. He was in his 30s, I believe. 30s. I'll check in this story. Accused. Let's see. Prince Andrew said, hey, not only did I never fuck her, she also said when we were dancing, I was sweating all over her. I can't sweat. I have a condition that doesn't allow me to sweat. And the court is like, well, we're going to put you on the stand and see if you start sweating. And he goes, all right, I'll take a settlement. I'll make a deal with you.
Yeah. He pulled the old Michael Jackson.
You didn't rape anybody, any 17-year-old, but you paid $13.5 million.
To make sure that they don't say anything about me not raping them.
Right. Right. So that can happen to any of us, apparently. Isn't the whole world nervous? Because obviously, if you believe them, you think it could happen to you one day, 13.5 million.
I mean, I hope he tries to rape me. That'd be awesome. I could use a couple mil at least. Yeah, I think we get a couple mil for the trying.
Trey, are you trying to get canceled because you think that's the way to get 4 Netflix specials?
No, I thought that was obviously, like, I don't really hope that he tries to rape me. That's horrible.
The 61-year-old British.
I
I don't know why that flags up. I don't know a lot of things, Trey. The 61-year-old British royal who had previously disparaged and denied ever meeting the accuser, Virginia Giuffre, agreed to the unexpected and reported pricey deal of $13.5 million. Quote, Prince Andrew has never intended to malign Miss Giuffre's character. He, of course, did. He said she made it up. And he accepts that she has suffered both as an established victim of abuse and as the result of unfair public attacks. It is known that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless young women over many years. Prince Andrew. So this is Prince Andrew's lawyer's statement. It's known that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless young women over the years. Prince Andrew regrets his association with Epstein. So he's like, oh, I was around a guy that I didn't know was trafficking women. I'm sorry for that. $13.5 million. Sorry for that.
How did they come up with this price?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is that how good that the royal lawyers are? Because I mean, Michael Jackson paid that one family $26 million, and that was however many years ago. You know,
I don't know how they came up with that either. 26, 3. What's a million? Do they know how many more are coming, and they already budgeted it?
Prince Andrew regrets his association with Epstein and commends the bravery of Miss Giuffre and other survivors in standing up for themselves and others. Looking back, I guess if you have it on tape, I called her a lying bitch. But now that I think about it, I do believe what she said about other people. I don't know, definitely not me. And I feel horrible for her. Again, this is really only about me, but I feel horrible for her. I didn't do it. I mean, I'm not saying that in this statement. That would cause more problems. I'm just saying I recognize Jeffrey Epstein wasn't nice.
So what is he commending her for? For
being brave.
Lies?
For having to deal with, she dealt with something from somebody, who knows? Not him. That's a full lie, but I still have to respect her bravery. Makes no fucking sense. Yeah.
No, none at all.
No. Yeah, that doesn't add up.
David Boyce, attorney for Giuffre, issued his statement saying, I believe the event speaks for itself. The end.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, they're not allowed to say anything anymore. So,
right.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew promised to atone for his association with Epstein by, quote, supporting the fight against the evils of sex trafficking and by supporting its victims.
What does that mean?
It means you turned my life upside down by making up this total allegation. But you know what? There's something about it that I want to support your cause anyway through you. Yeah, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It means
he didn't write that. Remember, he didn't write this thing.
He signed off on it.
The secretary for the royal family wrote it for him. And was like, look, this is what you have to say.
Sure.
They have those people.
If you're going to keep touching little girls, this is what you have to say.
Right. My gosh.
In addition,
but also, he didn't say how he's going to support those things. He just said,
no, because he's not.
Like,
he's just she's brave for coming out. Which again, why would you?
She lied. You're saying. I know.
Right. Exactly.
But you're saying she lied.
If you really didn't do it, you'd be like, this girl's a total liar. I didn't whip my dick out in front of anybody that was underage. They're making me pay this money just so I could shut them up. So this will never come up again, which is still a bad look.
Right.
Because everybody knows what that means.
In addition to once denying that he ever met a then underage Giuffre, the prince had also suggested that the notorious photo was fake, that it was doctored. They're able to prove it's not doctored. Of course, and he went, I support victims of things. His mother, Queen Elizabeth, stripped him of his military rural duties earlier this year.
Duties.
And said that Andrew would defend himself in this suit as a private citizen. Yeah, so he did it too.
So now he's a private citizen.
Right. With 13.5 million.
For this, he's going to be a regular dude.
There was no sign of an impending agreement this past October. This is we're in February, the following year, when attorneys for the prince alleged that Giuffre's lawsuit was motivated by greed. Quote, most people could only dream of obtaining the sums of money that Giuffre had secured for herself over the years. This presents a compelling motive for Giuffre to continue filing frivolous lawsuits against individuals such as Prince Andrew, whose sullied reputation is only the latest collateral damage of the Epstein scandal. Cut to November, December, January, February. 4 months later, she's so brave and good for her, and I feel bad for victims. You called her a liar. That's, by the way, it's always that when you throw that out there that they're like, okay, well, now we're in trouble because you just said I made up a rape. Now I need some pictures, and I happen to have them because Ghislaine Maxwell needs her face in every picture like a timestamp. So luckily for me, here's where we met. Oh shit! I didn't mean to call you a whore and all that. Let's see. I have a particular medical condition, so I can't sweat. All right,
Well, and that's the other thing. It's not like it's not like this picture was taken in a strip club or she's wearing some, sexy outfit or something. This looks like a picture of like your high school friend meeting your dad or something, you know?
Yeah.
It looks like a very normal, friendly picture.
Well, they got it. They got it. What are you doing over there for entertainment then? You're not watching the Tinder Swindler. What do you want? You see the tragedy of Macbeth?
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
I tell you what, I put on closed caption thinking it'd be easier to understand. It is not. It's only more confusing.
Well, yeah, because it's still written in the old English, right? So there's a lot of extra E's and
it should be written in normal, right? Shouldn't closed captioning be in normal?
Well, maybe that's under language. Like you have to get it dubbed then in American English. I didn't Shakespearean English.
I didn't finish it. I only started, but I could tell it reminds me of high school, where we went over all these Shakespeare plays in high school. In fact, I may brag, I was the man in every one. I still never knew what the fuck was happening.
How did you memorize those lines?
My lines, yeah. And you knew when it was your turn, you knew the last person's line.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You memorized Shakespeare and then acted it?
We didn't do it as a play on stage for an hour and a half, but yes, parts in the class, yes.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you have didn't you guys memorize like Chaucer's prologue?
No, you're advanced.
Tales.
You're advanced.
I
placement.
memorized tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fool away to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking something, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by idiots, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
God damn. I'll tell you what.
But that's still English. Like Chaucer's prologue is like half English, half Gaelic, half One that April with the shorest sota when the drokta of March hath pierced to the rota.
Oh, you got to talk like that?
Right.
I'll stick with Shakespeare.
I have no idea what that is.
Whoa.
But we had to memorize all that.
Okay, how about this one? Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, ve'haaretz haya tov v'vo v'choshech al pnei adam. Those are the beginning words of the Bible.
Yeah,
Why
shalom.
do I still know this shit? This is 8th grade and before.
I remember Baruch Hashem, Arira, Tarat, Marira. It's just funny what sticks with you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Dreidel, we made you out of clay.
So I'm watching the start of this Macbeth and I'm like, there's like for like half a minute, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but then it does mean not to give myself an easy out. It means most people don't. And so I'm like, all right, I'll keep watching. Every so often I get something and I'm like, I think I get the gist of it. But no, half this shit, I don't know what they're saying. I get it. He came back from war. He's the fucking greatest. They didn't like him at first, but he did so good in war that the king owes him. I get it so far. I get it.
Maybe I'll run over to Barnes and Nobles and grab the Cliff Notes first.
Right. And look as I'm watching. I'll look through the Cliff Notes. Yeah.
I used to try to do that. I used to be like, all right, didn't pay attention this whole time. Some kind of test is tomorrow. I'm not sure what, but I know it's Shakespeare. I know we're reading this book. Let's try Cliff's Notes. Cliff is the worst. Cliff's fifth language is English. I don't know what the fuck I was reading it. I needed some, Sally notes for Cliff's notes, for Shakespeare notes. It was the worst. And now that I'm reading on a regular basis, you could summarize that better. You were fucking with us. You knew that assholes like me were waiting until the last second. And then we're like, can you just summarize it for me? And you were like, no, but I bet you thought I would.
Well, because this is the thing was like, even in junior high, I remembered seeing kids with Cliff Notes. So it's like, and then, you realize it's not quite like cheating off the dumbest kid in the class, but it's like cheating off the kid that's a couple up from the dumbest kid in class.
I passed thanks to them.
Yeah.
I know that much. And the teacher would say, you're not going to be able to pass the test. It's like, you're only going to be able to think of 2 clever questions that weren't in Cliff Notes. I'll be okay.
I was
You
not.
can't change the
okay.
whole fucking story about Macbeth. I get it.
You know, there's a thing to it where I stop paying attention and I forget that I'm not paying attention because I still hear words. It's like, you ever read and you know you're reading the words, and at the end of the page you're just like, I know I read all those words. I don't know what the hell is happening here because I'm bored. But I'll tell you this, and I know that I wouldn't have believed me if I said this, but I saw a couple of Shakespeare plays in the last few years or a decade long. And a couple of them, I'm like, oh, I get it now. There were some actors and some productions that I was like, holy shit, this is what they mean when they say Shakespeare is awesome. And it is a shame that teachers make us teach it like this and people put on horrible versions of this, because when it's good, I was like, man, I felt all of that stuff that you were supposed to give me. Wow. Go ahead. That's great.
That's a good point. No, because I do like, yeah, again, you know, for any class you take, there's going to be different kinds of teachers for each subject, right? So clearly that's even probably more so in theater, because it's not like there's 5 theater classes at every school. So you have 5 different teachers. You normally only have one person. So you're at their mercy as far as their interpretation of it or the things that they like about it. So if they're not a big Shakespeare fan, they're just going through the motions with it, you know. But if you have somebody that could actually point out like the humor in it and stuff like that, yeah, I could see that being way more fun, I guess.
It seems like you're not supposed to study it. You're supposed to watch and enjoy it. And if you're studying it, that's a different thing. Like, you're just studying Shakespeare. But it feels like, to know it and to actually like it, you're supposed to watch a good production of it. You're not supposed to get homework when you're not interested in it. That's just not it. I think it's
sure,
going all
right.
wrong.
Like, I don't want to watch Star Wars with shitty actors.
Right. And then you have to do homework on it and memorize the lines, but there was no special effects and so what are you actually watching?
Yeah.
And then if you remember, I mean, I wasn't there, but Shakespeare didn't have women in the play. They had men pretending to be the women.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But kind of just proved women can do it too. Right. We just learned that.
Suck.
Dude, that sounded good to me. That's the way that character at that time wanted to say that stanza. All right. I believe it. You know, I looked up where did it come from that if you say Macbeth and you're not doing the play Macbeth, but maybe even if you're doing that play, you're not supposed to say it in a theater or bad luck happens. And it came from, well, first of all, during one of the Macbeth performances back in the day, a man was playing Lady Macbeth. He happened to die on stage. Shakespeare himself ran in and took over. In another performance way back in the day of Macbeth, a prop dagger was somehow replaced by a real dagger and a person was stabbed. And they're saying the play itself is surrounded by evil because the 3 witches, when Shakespeare wrote them, he used, quote, authentic spells. And now there's actual evil in the script itself.
When the play isn't good enough, you throw propaganda and gossip into it.
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
Come see this play. It has real shit in it.
Yeah. I'd go to that. That was their version of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. Right? I'm like, you're complaining. I'm front row.
Well, now you're not allowed to say Baldwin while you're filming a movie. So
is it Baldwin? That's officially, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me mention this one more time. Speaking of movies, Silent Trailers. Silent Trailers is on Wednesday. Again, that's in 2 days as of recording that. That's February the 23rd, 2022, the year of our Lords. Take a look, keithandthegirl.com/tickets. If you have VIP, you get every show we've ever done. You get other bonus stuff. You get discounts in the Keith and the Girl store. You also get a free ticket to this very show that we're talking about.
Every show you guys have done, every single one.
Yes.
over 35.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yes. And the
Actually,
spin-off shows, the drunk shows, kind of interviewing people. There's literally endless amount of shows.
Yeah, a ton of I mean, I'm just thinking about the times where I've been in the studio and the crazy stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
That is like a tiny percentage.
And how weird. Over 17 years, that was all recorded, Trey. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, which reminds me, keithandthegirl.com/Trey Galyon. You can hear the first like 2-3 times that Trey was on, I mispronounced his name, and he just went with it. Trey Galyon. He loved it.
People like fancying it up, and I let him. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course you let him, because it's not your fucking name. It's like, who gives a shit? Yeah.
We're gonna call you Tres.
Yeah, that's fine.
Follow Trey online with his fake name, Trey Galyon, GALYON.com. Same thing with the at Trey Galyons in your various places, Twitter, Instagram. And the podcast, it's new. There's 3 episodes up right now called Plugs.
Yeah, our old podcast, Rough Drafts, I think they're still out there. RUFFDRAFT drafts.
What Trey is saying, can you please find out if his old podcast is out there and report back to him? He doesn't know how to do it.
Well, I'm listening to Plugs, and on the first episode, they go, so anyway, I saw this movie, let's say, and we've talked about that before. I'm like, it's episode 1. How did you talk about it before? Yeah. You're just doing inside jokes because fuck me.
That's the IYFK. Why? If you know, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag it. Yeah, that was clear.
Yeah. Trey's new podcast. Take a guess. And we talk about stuff, but half of it is in between is stuff we talked about earlier in private.
Winging it. That's the name of the. No, they just wing it.
No, call it as I was saying, and then just start every episode. As I was saying.
And then just give movie spoilers, but don't tell them what the movie is.
Right. So it's like silent trailers, but different.
Right. How's everybody doing? Darth Vader was Luke's father. All right. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh my God. How can you spoil that for me?
I know. Yeah, you don't watch Star Trek anymore. All right, Trey, it's great seeing you. You too, guys, man.
What happened to you on the marathon? What's going on?
Very good question. Very good question.
I completely forgot, and I don't want to blame it on Coco, but she was a little upset with me at the time. And the problem was I didn't set up my computer when I should have. Like a couple hours before, I was like, well, if I set up my computer, then it'll be sitting right there in front of me, and then just completely blanked. And then the next thing, it was like 11:30 or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to be on the marathon.
Wait, so you remembered 2 hours before?
Yeah. Yep.
And then you and your girlfriend got into an argument, and then your whole night was shot?
It takes a lot of energy.
I just zoned out. Completely zoned out.
All right.
Yeah. Which has been very since Dad died, that's a pretty easy thing for me to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where you just kind of get in that where enough stuff is going on in your brain where you're like, I'm going to shut it down for a minute.
Yeah, well, it's your dead dad. What am I going to say? I don't fucking get it. I just know you got texted also. That's all. But okay, your dad's dead.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't get text. I don't have a text from you guys. That was the other weird thing was like, I didn't get a text or an email or nothing. I mean, I did get the email.
Oh, right. In that regard, you did get it. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Right. Sure. Your dad's dead. I get it. Okay. I get it. Make me look like an asshole over here.
I'm going to blame stuff on that for a while now, I think. I got a couple more years. Yeah.
That's a deep pain. You get like 3 to 5 years, depending.
Yeah. Well, but this was the real thing was like Coco was she was clearly upset, but she didn't want to talk about it at the time. And I'm not that guy. Well,
you won't let it sit for a minute. You have to talk about it right then.
I'll let it sit for a minute, but we always had the thing of like, have you ever heard of the don't go to bed angry?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, right. And she doesn't either, but that's frustrating for me because it's like I'm in that situation where I'm like, she doesn't want to. I know that she's not going to want to talk about this till tomorrow, but I want to talk about it now. And so then my brain is just focused on that, you know?
What was it?
Which was fine. It was, I said something on another podcast that she didn't appreciate. And I totally understood why she wouldn't appreciate it.
You said like she burps and stuff or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That she purposely Dutch ovens.
And it was my dad's funeral, for God's sake. I was I don't know. Anyways.
But thank you guys for having me on today, even though I messed up and wasn't on the marathon. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for being here.
And also,
Yeah.
there were so many people we barely fucking noticed. Trey, God bless
That's
you and
what I
thank you for your
figured.
time.
Yeah. Love you guys.
KateandTheGirl.com.